the track.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Sunday Night Live. Back from our break last week, having some Thanksgiving. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Mike, how are you doing, buddy?
Howdy.
Howdy. Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was all right. How about you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Can't complain. Hopefully, my mom will make some turkey here the next couple of weeks. We had to. Our turkey was bought. It was bought it was bought from a nice place, a nice barbecue place here in town. It was good. It just, it wasn't my mom's cooking. It's not quite the same. Huh?
So y'all complained after you got the fancy store bought, and
No, we
she was like,
before.
"Fine,
Beforehand.
I will make you a turkey." Precious
like,
Trev.
we have to go where for turkey? My mom was like, fine.
She's like, "I can't take a break this year. How many years have been doing Thanksgiving?"
I think she enjoys it though, because it's, oh my gosh. I mean, she makes it. It's a lot of work, but it's like meals, especially if it's only us three.
I want to say there's those people out there. I think, going back to my mom, I think she got into like holiday cooking in general. I know for some it's a burden, but my mom just enjoyed the cooking side of it, so I can see how it goes either way. I think it just depends on the person.
True. So I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Let's see who all came in the chat. Tina, what's up, babe?
Hey, Tina.
Great to see you. December 1st, right? Crazy. Las Cruces, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Las Cruces.
All right. A great show. Steve, watching on the rewind. Thank you so much.
What's up, Steve?
Hope you had a great Thanksgiving and a great weekend. Phil, what's going on, Phil?
Phil.
A squirrel.
Squirrel.
How's you doing, Phil? Hope you're doing well. And hello from New Mexico. What's up, babe? Howdy, Mike. Joseph, what's going on, Adventurous Joe?
Hey, Joseph Michaels.
Thanks for coming in. I know Joseph is having some killer giveaways on his channel. I actually entered one. I was like, I got to enter that one. It was a Luke Skywalker. It had like all the accessories. It was like a freaking VHS case. And you opened it up, and it was like Luke on one side and like all his accessories. Really awesome. Check out Joseph Michaels for some awesome figure reviews. And he shows off comics too. Live from Tuscaloosa. Hell yeah. He calls me Tuscaloosa Trev because I called him Detroit Phil.
Yeah.
I don't even know where Tuscaloosa is. That was at Arizona, New Mexico?
Yeah, I think so. Nevada, maybe.
Cat Fan, what's going on, bestie?
What's up, Cat Fan?
Cat Fan took a much needed break last week. He's back to doing his show again, aren't you? Starting tomorrow there, Cat Fan, let us know. D, what's going on, Hungry D? Hope you're doing well.
Hey, Hungry D. Happy Thanksgiving.
A lot of different chats. They're popping into Dynasty breaks. Even when I'm not there, Carly says she really loves you, D. Says you come in and you spread the love, and she's glad to see that because Dane's always ragging on her, and she's kind of like the taking all the hate. So you come in there and she's like, I like that, D. She's positive. Anachronic, what's going on, Joe?
What's up, Joe?
How you doing, bud? Hope you're doing well. Go check out Anachronic Comics channel. Always putting out great stuff. Put out a top 20 things to buy a comic book collector. different suggestions for those that aren't into comics but want to buy somebody that isn't into comics. Awesome stuff. Plus, he has a show. Usually it's Friday nights. One of a couple different things that he puts out.
I thought it was a great idea for content.
Oh,
That's
hell
a great
yeah.
idea in general. I think that needs to be like a thing that you do, holiday times. Like, hey,
This is what I want. LP or Green Hulk, as she was on yesterday morning. That's hilarious. She was all green, he was red.
yeah. Hey, Lady Prime.
What's going on, Lady Prime? Great show. Appreciate you.
Heck
Saturday morning stretch every Saturday morning, 7 o'clock. Most Saturday mornings. Just check it out. Great time. Great time.
It's awesome when we get them.
Alabama. Okay. Yeah,
Is that where that is? That's Alabama.
Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Yeah, I saw that. You got your Heroes Con in the Heroes Con chat. He's like, I got my tickets.
They don't even have the hotel deal. They don't even have the hotel deals up yet. Why are you buying your tickets and then? Well, he's around the corner from there.
Decide if I'm doing that again. Are you going this year?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the decision thing too. I don't know.
I might skip a year depending. I got a lot of stuff I got to do. I got to get a new car, a lot of things, and yeah. But I still want to go. I really want to go. But
I haven't made up my mind, and I've decided I'm waiting at least to see the hotel deals because I do have the funds. So it's not like I don't, and it's already been planned in my mind to go. So, but I don't know, because it's like there are things in real life that I could benefit.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Start back tomorrow, 8 o'clock Central Time. Cat Fan Comics main channel, Comic and Collectible. Yeah, I can't wait to see your room.
Ooh.
If you got it all clutter free, do a little room tour. I know you got shit tons of stuff. Carly's awesome. She just takes it from Dane. She's the Dynasty Breaks mascot, is what I like to call her. JSS, what's up, buddy?
Hope hey, JSS well. Brooklyn.
See him all over the community now. Glad to see you.
We're hanging out in church and Ryan. And he's pretty much everywhere I was.
Ryan Riley, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Ryan.
Hope you're doing well. Booking my hotel tomorrow. Found some good rates already. Interesting.
Okay, so like hot take, if you are getting a car and you go away from that convention area, and I'm not talking far because I was busting all over there, but like I stayed at a hotel the last couple of days in a different area, and it was like $40 a night. Now, granted, it wasn't as nice as that area. We're talking like Motel 6 nice, let's just say that.
That's still that's crazy.
Yeah, it was
$40 that cheap.
That was the going rate. I've actually looked it up, like, because I was thinking about, like, if I was planning on going solo, I would do that because the bus trip to there is like a 30-minute thing, and then on top of that, most of the places that I need to stop at once I get there, like their distilleries and stuff like that, are over by this hotel. There's nothing in that downtown area thing.
Oh, okay.
The only thing in that
there was
downtown,
really no place to eat, like really within walking distance and stuff like that.
I mean, there
expensive places.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was, but it was like you had to do like a 2 blocks because there was like Burger Kings and Subways and that I think Bojangles was the place, the chicken place. But like other than that, you were kind of limited to go to a grocery store or something like that. For us, we had to hop on a bus kind of thing.
Manny, what's going on, Manny?
Hey, Manny.
Manny's daughter Chloe just had a birthday. He was celebrating it. Great stuff to see. I always love seeing the family pictures and stuff like that on Instagram. It makes you smile with the world we live in. See some positive. Oh no, your Jeep died. Don't you just hate when that happened? I had to deal with my car battery last Wednesday. It was a pain.
Usually happens right before winter or something like that. Feels like it.
I'm paying for convenience.
Convenience,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, the hotel that we had was extremely nice because it was like right there, and
yeah.
ours comparatively because we saw the prices that was at the West End, and ours was like $300 like for that weekend cheaper than the other places, and we were either closer or like right there next
Just
to
as
them.
close. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were closer, but it's like a block compared to 2 blocks or whatever.
Well, Weston was like a block this way. We were like a block that way. If we would have been on the other side of the street, I would say we were a little closer, but I think honestly it was like same distance. It just felt different because we had to walk around the convention, that way or
Uh-huh.
whatever.
We had to walk around that the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Hmm.
But yeah, thanks everybody
Hmm.
for hopping in. Appreciate y'all. Got a few people to shout out real quick. No, no, no. No, no, no.
We shouting out Nosferatu.
Yeah, we're shouting out Nosferatu.
The original OG. I'm down for that. It's in my name, let's go.
We got Super Red Batman, otherwise known as Kyle.
Kyle.
He does live streams, usually comic chat with Kyle. He had Madam on for an interview pretty recently, about a month ago. But he's been doing some live streams, and I always want to shout out everybody in the community. Been in the community for quite a while. Check out Kyle over at Super Red Batman.
I love Kyle. And usually he's just looking for company. He just wants to hang and chill. He's usually talking about movies and TV shows. A fun guy to hang around. That there is like a little bit of a hang up, but it's still fun to hang around. I mean, I try, like, he is somebody that I have notifications on, and whenever he does go live, I try and like make an appearance kind of thing. Him and Papa.
Mm-hmm. Next, we have Swish Rips. He does my little intro that I show every time. He's been doing a lot of shorts. He's really creative on his shorts. Let's just look at.
Point blank, gin and juice I drink and bent as a puff on dank. Rock the mic. I crave skin rip. Find a honey dip to dip it in. Slam dunk it, stick it, flip it and ride that BOOTY. Oh my, ooh that's it. Come on, whoop. There it is. I'm done. Come on, whoop. Louder.
So yeah, Swish Rips, just a great dude. Doing a lot of different stuff with his shorts. Does the mail calls and pack rips usually as well. So check him out. Great dude. Let's shout him out. Very creative, exactly, Tina.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
lastly, my co-pilot.
That guy. This guy.
Evil's Comics. This guy.
This guy.
Man, I wish you had that. We got this one over here. Huh?
I'll do a
Mom is
Sweeney
like-
Boo one. It's the anniversary. Yeah, I know. I think he was pretty toasted in that one, as we go back. I think he was pretty lit that episode,
This is true. Yeah, Mike's doing live every Saturday night. He's going back and forth between the Dark Tower comic books with Steve and Dragonlance books with a group of us, Beckerman, myself, Commieverse, and a couple other guys that might show up.
And speaking of the Dark Tower thing, technically that was the last of the comic books that we're doing.
Oh.
The next episode will be a full-on Dark Tower adjacent book that we're doing, and it's kind of really up to Steve, maybe Phil, and whoever. But it's like a choice of, I don't know, 15 books, and we haven't chosen yet. So
Just like something that, just one of his other books. I don't know. What do you talk about? Dark Tower adjacent. What do you mean by that?
So Stephen King has technically 2 types of books. Now 3, because he has a whole different, like, kind of Dark Tower style books that he's done. That's the Mr. Mercedes. It's technically the Holly Like they used to call it the Holly trilogy, but now it's like there's 6 books and there's about to be a 7th, so it's not really a trilogy anymore. Um, okay, so there's the Mr. Mercedes series, which is pretty much like crime drama, like detective stuff. And then there's the Dark Tower. Then he has books that have no tie to the Dark Tower. They had like you won't find any mention of 19 or Roland or anything like that. But there are books like It or The Stand or
Okay.
that either directly tie to the Dark Tower, like they have either major parts of the book are directly like story related, or sometimes there's stories where it's just like, for instance, in Gerald's game, there is one scene where the character looks and there's a painting and it's a painting of the Dark Tower. It's more like a cameo kind of, but no, there's
Right.
a lot of like Insomnia for one, and so like us reading
Okay.
the Dark Tower, but we know that that is a key book, and I can tell you it is like it's very like that book specifically is very like Dark Tower heavy. The whole book, it's not like a cameo or something, and he has a lot of books that are like that. And thank y'all for the almost 1K wishes. I saw Joe and Catman.
Yeah,
Hungry
he's
D.
getting there. Please hit him up if you see this. Zach,
Yeah.
what's going on? Zach's Collections.
Hey, Zax.
Thanks so much for hopping in. Check out Zach. He's always putting out great content, TTMs, through the mail, autographs that he sends out, and Jank Pack Thursdays. It's always great. Opens up some crazy packs like Goonies pack from the 90s or stuff like that. Great card openings. Thanks so much, Zach. Bigger. What's going on, Chris?
Hey, Chris Bigger.
Thanks so much for coming in. Check out Chris Bigger's Instagram. He's shredding the guitar. Pretty awesome. Thanks for coming in, my DC bro. Old Man Game. What's going on? You want to see some other pack ribs, kind of like Jake Pack every day on the Old Man Games channel. Mike's
Hey, Old
getting
Man
old.
Games.
What?
I am, and I appreciate the age. I'm not. I'm the opposite.
Thanks for coming in. Check out Old Man Game. All right, what have you watched or read? Anybody in the chat? What are you watching or reading right now? I'll start off with. I guess we can.
I was
go.
gonna see where you wanted to start off because I know what my top is right now. Yeah, there you go. There you go. We're on the same wavelength. Yeah.
Dune Prophecy. Has anybody been watching this? 2 episodes in, loving how they're breaking down. They're showing more of the different houses and how each house kind of has their own agenda. My only complaint, as I was saying on Legion's chat earlier, is Mark Strong's character is kind of a bitch. It's kind of pissing me off because he's like
Okay.
the actor at all those people, and he's like,
So spoiler warning. He ain't gonna make it for too much longer.
yeah.
I mean, it's kind of known. So they like, let's just say like that they're not setting him up to be so badass. So he's not, when he is gone, he's not like, oh my god, I missed that emperor. He was so cool.
This is true. What's
Hey,
up,
Wellboy.
Wellbore? Hope you're doing well.
I mean, I have a lot of I nitpick everything. And watching this show, I'm just like, this is the emperor of like not just the known galaxy, but the omnipotent galaxy, which Dune makes out because this emperor controls like many universes, and he's just walking around with no guards and no like. And I get it. He's in his house for most of those scenes, but like, like. I mean, even the president, I mean, he
Yeah.
just here in America don't get to go to the bathroom by himself. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Oh my god, dude, those divorced. I have a couple of those saved in my saved on Instagram. Those are freaking hilarious, dude.
Bro, and you know what's crazy is I've been following that since he started that.
Really?
Now, yeah, divorced dads is becoming like now a known thing because the cards are really expensive, kind of thing. But like, I mean, there's a couple cards, if y'all don't know, ungraded, they go for like $10,000.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like in graded tens, they go for like triple that. But
I
like
saw some that were insanely expensive.
There's one, I think it's called The House, and the other one's called like Alimony, and there's another one. But like, okay, for explanation, Divorced Dad started out as like a meme that this guy, he had just been divorced and he was making fun of like Pokemon and Magic, so he kind of created this, like this card game that's based off of like what divorced dads go through in everyday life kind of thing. But it's with like magic aesthetics, like the card look,
Yeah.
the illustrations. But now it's become such a thing that it is out there. It's a real thing now, and like some of my favorite card rippers are getting some of these packs, and I'm like, no, I would like just a pack, damn it.
Right.
Like they're
What's
so
up,
cool, and like
TCP?
his whole gimmick is really cool. Collector P, me being a divorced dad twice over.
What's up, Aaron?
What's
How you
up,
doing,
brother
bud?
Aaron?
Thank you so much, Aaron, and everybody else who bought from me on my claim sale. I sold quite a bit of comics. I got rid of 1,000 comics, so very happy to unclutter. And thanks
Yeah,
so
that's
much,
great.
Aaron.
1,000 copies.
Yeah, I had this shit going for like dirt cheap prices.
All right, so back to Dune. No, but some things I can appreciate about Dune, the cinematography's there, just like the films. It has the same aesthetic. It's set in the same world. Yes, this is like 10,000 years before the movies. So it's not like you have to know, you just have to know basically the main tribes, and that's kind of it. Because one of the things I believe this show is doing is kind of setting up some of the like more futuristic and alien stuff that really didn't make it into the first two movies, because the next movie has a lot of that, like Dune Messiah. Like you talk about stuff that they didn't, that they should have started to put in the first two movies, and like even the director of those first two movies, he's even said whoever gets the hold of Dune Messiah like with him is going to be in for like a hell of a
No, I like that. To your point, I like how this is setting up. Not only because in the first two movies we only get to see what the Atreides and the Harkonnen basically, and like the Emperor's people, the Guard or whatever. And this is kind of setting up a lot of the other angles, especially the sisters and stuff like that more. And it's because at the end of the second movie, he goes into space with the freaking Emperor's army, and it's about to be all the houses going at it. So it's going to
that's
be
another
nice to know more
that's an
about all those houses.
that's another thing, is we're getting to see a lot of the other like houses that weren't in the movies, because pretty much it's just Harkonnen, forget the world that he's from, but Harkonnen Pax and like drawing blanks, but
Right.
not
You watched Dinner in America, Strange Darling, and the new Alien movie. Nice.
I know what the
Dinner-
last two is. I don't know what Dinner in America
Yeah, I don't know
is.
what Dinner in America is.
Strange Darling I do, and that was really good. I knew the new Alien was fantastic.
Yeah.
But I don't know what Dinner in America.
Dune is better than Skibbity Toilet. What? Okay.
And Skibbity Toilet. And Old Man, I think that might have been Rebel Moon. There is kind of like a resurrection thing in Dune. But you gotta be
Oh,
special.
cool, Cat Fan. Cat Fan's getting that 9.9 off me.
Landman. I don't know if I've heard of
Literally
that.
Jihad. No, not yet. Not yet. But yeah, highly recommend this if you like the whole Dune universe. I love those all-encompassing universes. I love Lord of the Rings universe, the freaking Game of Thrones universe, the Dune universe, the Wheel of Fate universe, or Wheel of Time universe. Like, I love all those universes right now. They're all doing fairly well.
Speaking of Wheel of Time, I don't know if you'd seen the article that had coasted the internet this past weekend about Wheel of Time. And fans have been complaining that Amazon had been putting a lot of advertisement in a lot of their other shows, minus Wheel of Time. So fans have started to question that, and Amazon has since proceeded with saying that they apologize and they will put out more advertisement for Wheel of Time. After like an investigation that like the actual screen time of commercials that Wheel of Time got was 2.3 minutes or something like that, versus like Lords of the Rings has gotten 30 minutes of commercial time. And
Yeah, I
we're
didn't
talking
see
about
anything on Wheel of Time.
I
Uh-uh.
didn't either. Besides it being promoted on like IGN or something like that. Like,
This show right here, Landman on Paramount with Billy Bob Thornton.
I don't know what that is.
It's freaking awesome. My dad, that's what my dad does for a living. He travels around and talks to all these landowners and deals with their crop,
Mm,
cattle. They call it chattel, their livestock and their equipment.
mm.
And he said this shit right here is the most real thing he's ever seen.
Hmm.
So really
I
awesome.
have
So
to
on
give it a
Paramount, I
look
think
at.
2 episodes out right now, and you can actually watch. I think both first 2 episodes on Amazon Prime. It's got that deal to where you can watch like preview the first couple
Prospect.
episodes, and yeah, and then you buy the Paramount package or whatever.
All right.
Very very good. Hey, see you, Joe. Have a great one, bud.
Yeah, Wellbore said he was leaving too.
They
All right,
died.
Wellbore.
Can't they respawn, or is that just Rebel Moon? No, not. I haven't seen anybody respawn. I know in Rebel Moon they like the
And
main
Dune.
bad guy. You know, he basically dies, but they just jack him full of all that stuff, and just like, yeah, he's
And
kind of just
Dune.
a crazed beast after
And
that.
Dune, they do and they don't. Like, I mean, Paul does that. That's part of like the movie. He died during the movie and was reborn. That's the whole like connection with the Jesus thing. But like once you get into Dune Messiah, it's a major thing of the like resurrection, and not just with like the special people. It's like the bad guys start using it. That they start
Oh, okay.
resurrecting. That's where like that's one of the things I'm talking about in Dune Prophecy and Aaron had said it in the chat earlier with the Tylexi technology and the Goyas and the like once they get into that, you'll start seeing that they use like shapeshifters and like that they did reanimate bodies and stuff like that, but it's not like how you think kind of thing. It's not exactly zombie, and it's not like you're resurrected.
They're not themselves.
No, they're not. They basically have no memory kind of thing.
Right, right. Yeah, I don't consider that a resurrection per se.
Yeah, Phil's got it. Face dances. Face dances.
Oh, okay. Huh. To check it out. Surfer, what's going on, A Surfer? I'm glad to catch your live earlier.
Hey, surfer. Hola.
Open up some great product. That Allen and Ginter is always a fun product. Got all sorts of sports, not just baseball. The dog cards, the bees,
Hmm.
those are great. See you, Boar. Appreciate you. HBO, Paramount Max, none of these channels. I get Netflix, Amazon Prime. Hey, those are both two good ones. I think Prime and
Yeah,
Max are the best ones, but there's just a lot.
and don't get into that. I mean, the FOMO thing can kick in for anything, so don't let that kick in for the TV stuff. Guess what? Once it's aired, it's out there, and eventually it'll come around. I mean, all the stuff gets like mixed shared. I mean, like of course, there's some things that are like exclusive, like for instance,
Right.
Stranger Things to like Netflix. But I mean, that doesn't mean it didn't come out on a DVD and you know physical
And
ways and stuff
sometimes
like
you
that.
see the stuff on other platforms that it's not
Yeah,
originates from. So, Paul, what's going on, Paul? My DM.
what's up,
You're
Paul on
doing
the
well.
619?
Check out Paul on Tuesday nights, 7 o'clock Central Time. Paul and his amazing friends. Great live stream. Hector, what's going on, Hector?
What's up, Hector?
Hope you're doing well today. Tony, Commieverse, what's up, bud?
What's up, Tony?
Tony took off last night, but he usually does a live stream 7 o'clock Central Time on Saturday nights. We got here trivia. Mike, you ever watched the show From? No, I have not. I watched a movie From, I want to say. It was a horror movie, I think.
I do know what he's talking about, but I have not watched it yet, and it's very high on my list. It's got the guy from Lost and like Romeo and Juliet, but once you see the actor, you'll be like, oh, but I have seen previews of it and it looks really good. I know a lot of people are talking up from
From, I'll write that down.
the
Women's
Troy.
soccer stars. What's up, Troy's Reviews? How are you doing?
Hey, Troy.
Love Duncan so much. You revised him like 8 times. Really? That's
God
freaking
Emperor. Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it becomes like,
That's
and
what,
it's,
okay. That makes a lot of sense. When one of my buddies was talking about Duncan. Okay.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not necessarily like Paul does it first, and his whole like ascension is like godly, but that's like Paul's story is he really doesn't like go through with the godly stuff, and it's really like his kids. Okay, so like once they get into like the second and third stuff, that's like a big part of like both sides, the good part and the bad, like where they start using it as a weapon kind of thing.
Watching Silo season 2. A lot of people have been hyping that up.
Yeah, he is, Phil. Yeah,
Apocalyptic, where they're living in silos, kind of like a.
the first season was really good. I'm not going to watch Silo until the season because I don't mind watching certain things week to week, but some things when it's that good, it bugs the hell out of me and it like eats away at me. So I just rather wait for it to all build up and watch it that way.
Yeah. That's
Plus,
how
I
I've been
don't.
doing like 4 issue or 5 issue miniseries comics. I'm just like, I'm just going to wait till they're all out and read them.
For comics, it just makes for better reads sometimes. Some things like they are great at breaking things up individually, like
This is true.
with things having a great cliffhangers and getting you to cross over the next issue. But technically, a good story doesn't need all that. Like, it's supposed to be taking these small little breaks in between. So some stories, they're not broken up good and they're just made. Like Hickman is an example I can say. Hickman, reading him single issues is kind of frustrating, but reading it collectively, I think it's fantastic. But that's not all Hickman. Ultimate Hickman is a different story. Yeah, I don't. His writing is exceptional and ultimate.
What's up, Barry Barry? How you doing,
Hey, Barry
bud?
Bear.
Glad seeing you. Very good show. Silo, awesome. Duncan is that's what one of my buddies was saying. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now because he was talking about him coming back.
Yeah, most people know from like all the different movies that he dies in that movie. So you know, hell yeah, Tony,
7
get
ways.
it.
Hell yeah, Tony. Check out Tony at Commieverse. Put in Kiss. Starting a new hashtag this month. December Kiss. Every single day I'll be showing up one of my Kiss covers that are my favorites on Instagram. So
And it's funny that you have Tony Comic versus Comic with the Kiss up because I know you're a huge Kiss cover fan, but he is actually a huge Kiss band fan. Yeah.
That is a good coincidence. What's up, 9 panel grid? How you doing, bud?
Hey, 9 panel grid.
Thanks for popping in. Ben Compton, what's up? Straight out of Compton.
What it do, Ben?
Hope you're doing well, gents.
Oh, hell yeah, cat fan.
Get that in there for a chance at one of my ducks for my monthly duck race. As soon as I get this slab to send out, Cat Fan, I'll send your win from last month. Third duck's the charm.
I love that movie, Chris Bigger in Detroit Rock City. Great film.
Nice. Is that the one with, is that Jack Black or not?
No, I don't even remember.
School of Rock, I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that's School of Rock. Detroit Rock City is like the kids, and they actually go to like a Kiss concert in Detroit or something like that.
Yeah. Finally hit 1K Instagram after seeing it. Hey, that kind of happens. I was sitting around the same amount for like a year and finally got like 20 past it.
See, for some reason, I didn't have that problem on Instagram. I was like, because I'm in like the 3K or 4K, something like that. And
you've been on Instagram for a long time, though, haven't you?
No, like I got on Instagram after YouTube. YouTube, like was my first, like almost a year. I was on Instagram before. I mean, YouTube before Instagram. Instagram was just primarily, and I know a bunch of us around that same time, like Ryan, Comics, we just functionally used IG for fans to reach out for us easier in the beginning. I know that sounds, a lot of people will make fun of me for saying fans, and but that's really what it is. There were some times where like, even before I was like majorly a part of the comic book community, when there was just like a couple of us talking to each other that I knew of at that time, like, that there were people that were like, "Hey, I want to send you something. I don't want to, get your address in the comment section."
I was hoping I could get a job as the kitty and kiss, but dude won't quit. What's up, AR?
What's up,
Hope
AR?
you're doing well.
Yeah, I think that's the only person I remember in Detroit Rock City is Kitty from
We
the
got
70s.
14 entries. About to spin this. That's funny. Evil
It is.
is live
It is
or live.
live.
Spinning it. Tina.
Christ, Tina.
Hell yeah.
Not rigged. Not rigged.
There you go, my love. All right. Next we have. I went and saw Gladiator 2. I went in with, I made sure not to have high hopes at all. And I went in and I was pleased. I give it a 7, 8 around that area. It's not, the first one's a solid 9, I think. The first one's a masterpiece almost. Russell Crowe.
Okay.
That's his prime. But it's kind of almost the same. It's the same feel, the same special effects. The acting is pretty quality. Denzel Washington's very good. And of course they have some of the same people from the first movie. The guy that plays the main character, I won't say who he is in case you want to watch it, but he does a great job.
I think they announced who he is in the trailer, right? And he's like the dude's like
Paul Mescal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I thought everybody knew he was Lucius going in, but they kind of like reveal it in the movie, and it's kind of like, duh.
Yeah, I thought
Like
they
that.
showed, because that was something my brother caught on. I think he caught on to that in the teaser. Now I don't know if that was in the trailer, but I remember in the teaser they do like, the wife gives the ring or whatever, and the chest plate, and I was like, that's kind of a thing,
right?
Did you say hi to
Howard
Pops?
the Duck, first kiss in comics gang. Really? Hey,
Yeah.
Thank you for that information. I did not know that. What's
Did you
up,
say hi?
Pops? How you doing, Pops?
Hey,
Coming
Pops.
in. Check out Pop's Instagram for some awesome comic sales year round. Okay.
Ruffers. I don't even know what it is.
That's great. Rufus. It'd be funny if it was Rufus, but it's not. Rigged. I mean, congrats to you.
That's what I thought it was at first, was Rufus, and then I read it. I was like, Ruffus. Okay, so let me ask you some non-spoily questions. Does Gladiator 2 connect from Gladiator 1 seamlessly? Is there a reason that they did? Is there an explanation that all this, Okay, is there
It's almost like destiny, like things that occur. He's destined to be where he's at, to do what he does.
This is a Ridley Scott movie, one of the best cinematography directors in the business. Would you say it lines up with? Because and before you answer, there has been some critique on his laziness as far as the cinematography, and not just this movie, the last couple movies. Would you say that it had the same cinematography feel to this movie as Gladiator, or better?
It felt like it wasn't. Gladiator had more sets. it felt more encompassing. You know how they did like the war at the beginning, and he's leading the army and all that. So they built up, and there was like a lot of progression. He went to the fighting pits, you know, in the middle of nowhere, and then he progresses to. Well, this is almost like it kind
It
of
just
starts
starts out there.
almost. I mean, it has a little bit of backstory, but it almost is complete centralized on the Colosseum. Whereas the first movie is, I would say, the second half of the movie is the Colosseum.
I can go with that.
So it's not as encompassing. It doesn't have the grandeur of the first one. You can tell it was less of it was a lower budget. I would say.
And technically, Aaron, you know, there could be some disputes that could be said about the sharks in the Coliseum, you know, because it's not necessarily that they weren't there, but could they have been there? And it was a high possibility. Now I'm with you, they probably weren't, but it's fun, you know. I mean, I think the rhino thing, they show rhinos in the Coliseum or whatever. And I don't
Right.
necessarily know if that was a known thing. I know they used exotic animals as far as tigers, lions, and wild dogs, stuff like that. But as far as like, and they did use bears, but as far as like rhinos and stuff like that,
Yeah.
that
Saw Gladiator with your oldest son back and went to Air Force Solo sequel. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much how it is. The first one, it would have had to it would have had to live up to a lot to reach that number one status because Gladiator is one of those. It's like oh, what's the one that Mel Gibson was in? Oh,
Lethal Weapon,
no, the huge
Mad Max.
no. Whenever
Ash-
Gladiator around Gladiator time, about he's the Scottish dude.
Oh, Braveheart.
Braveheart. It's like if they made you can't
Oh,
match
if they
those
did a part
visuals.
2, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but the story has to be there, and for Braveheart, the story's not there, kind of thing. You know, I mean, the next part of the story is like that. There is more story. I mean, not William Wallace's story, but there is more story. But it gets real like it's not a part of history that they want to talk about, kind of thing, because it goes bad.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh,
because
it's
you
so
saw it
good.
in the end, a lot of people flip sides, and they basically go back to the English, and all that was historically accurate. Like,
They did, yeah, they did have devices to flood the Coliseum, but the sharks is kind of because where would they keep them?
it's movie magic.
Yeah,
It's a
Ari's
one-time
world.
use. They
What's
just
going
got to
on,
get them
Ari's
there.
man?
Hey, Ours World, it's a one-time use. You know, you just gotta get the sharks there, throw them in the Coliseum, get them to kill some folks, and then you know, I mean, you got shark meat after that. That's all I can say.
Mm-hmm. His
Reference,
PTA nightmare. That's
reference.
funny.
You're
I can't
being
believe I
watched.
couldn't think of Braveheart. Been a
I
long
actually
time since
love.
I've seen
I
that
actually
one.
love Braveheart. That's one of the
Oh
movies
yeah.
from my past that I've watched like maybe more than 500-600 times, something like that. A lot. Like there was 2 summers where that's like all I watched, and this is during VHS time where it was double VHS thing, and I had to
Uh
like
huh.
you know like watch
You
like two
put
hours worth and put in the next tape and get it you know. But there's some phenomenal facts about Braveheart. That was his like first directed movie. It's the one that won him the most Oscars and stuff. Like it's one to this day. It's a soundtrack that
oh
to me
dude, I had the
the
soundtrack. Yep.
the Braveheart soundtrack is a soundtrack that I read alongside the Dark Tower. So not only is it like tied to like my favorite movie, like one of my favorite movies, but it's also tied to like my memory of the Dark Tower thing. I started like, and I can tell you that it's one of those times that I can remember reading the Dark Tower, but it was a Wizard of Glass. I started, and it's that whole romantic thing with Susan.
Uh-huh.
And the
And you got
Braveheart
that music
soundtrack is,
playing,
yeah, it's mostly like romantic, you know,
the
action kind of
encounter
stuff.
playing.
It works so well.
Oh, it's hilarious. Another show that I'm kind of stuck on right now. About
Alfredo!
almost done with the third season. Castle with Nathan Fillion. Anybody's watched this? It's got 8 seasons. It's pretty awesome.
Eh,
He's a writer in crime dramas and stuff, and he's shadowing an actual detective as she goes on all her different murders and stuff. And he follows her around. They got that sexual tension and pretty good. I'm really enjoying it, just for a drama series.
I've never watched it all the way through, but I have seen a couple episodes because I do like Nathan Fillion.
I like
But
Nathan Fillion a lot.
and I do know that what Philip put in there that Nathan Fillion and that lead actress did not get along. It was like a notorious thing that happened during each season. It's kind of like the
Really?
same thing with the Grey's Anatomy, like where they just had problems on set throughout
That's
the whole thing.
hilarious.
Hey, Kevin.
What's up, Kevin? Joffrey the Giraffe. Shout out to. Why are you shouting out Joffrey?
I don't know, but I like Joffrey.
Haven't seen Joffrey in forever. It always makes me jealous when I see
People getting
the
the
sports
Toys R Us.
collector, not the TSC, the sports collector. He lives in Canada and he goes to like one of the last.
They still have
mega
the physical. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's
because
just
here
like,
we have those little like shops. I
and,
miss
well,
a lot of that.
They're still in. What's the store that they're in? Macy's.
Hmm. Oh, over here,
People
I
are
think it's
amazing.
J.C. Penney's. Over here, I think they're in J.C. Penney's, but it could be either or. I forget. It's in one of those, and it's so small. It's like a little section of the store.
Mel Gibson is the reason Scotland is separate country.
I read that, and I don't know. I mean, it could be a true thing because Scotland got their. I mean, they got their independence around that time. Like they were one of the last like major countries
Colonies?
that got. Yeah, they
That's
actually.
interesting.
And I know it happened around like late '90s, so I wouldn't be surprised if he had a big. I've never looked into it, but
Yeah, I like Nathan Fillion a lot. I can watch him act, mainly from like Serenity and
JSS they actually talked. Josh Whedon talked about that. Like, and I know
Firefly, baby. Yep.
all of us fans want more Firefly, but Josh Whedon said that it was like that they had tried doing season 2 and it bombed like every time, and they did 4 pilots for season 2, and he just mocks it up to a one-time thing was what season 1 and that movie was. But they tried to repeat, and I think they had like to date I think they have like 7 or 8 scripts for the season 2, and none of them have had the same chemistry, and they've used the same actors.
The cast is so freaking good for that too, man. I
like
love the cast.
what's his name, Alan Tudyk or whatever.
Alec Tudyk,
He's talked about it a lot, and he's talked about the hours that he put in that he didn't get paid just trying to do a season 2.
Wow.
You know, and they
like
just didn't do, they
Marie
couldn't
and
do it.
Picard,
Yeah.
whatever her name is, and
They were talking about the movie specifically was bits and pieces of season 2 that they had to splice together to make that movie.
what's up, Cuppy? Will, how you doing, bud?
What's up, Cubby?
Lonnie and
Oh,
Church Chair lines up
just
with the cat perfect.
Cup-
Listening like Jar Jar.
Cubby close.
Lisa, hungry?
One of my favorite characters, Jar Jar Binks.
Get out of here.
I love Jar Jar.
Happy Sunday night to you, Will. Check out Will, his channel on Monday nights. Does Monday Night Raw books. And then on Wednesdays, he's with Aaron, Psychotronic Squirt Gun Aaron, doing sales and talking about stuff as well. Check him out. Watch the Bills game on the side. Oh, yeah, right. That's crazy. It was all snowed in and shit. Firefly was the TV series and Serenity was the movie.
Yeah, it was a show on Fox. Like I want to say, like either very early 2000s or late 90s, something like that. And there was a movie. Like I don't even remember if it made it to theaters. If it was like straight to, I think it did. Yeah, and it had like
He
a
made the theaters
limited
because I
release.
saw it in the theater. Uh-huh. L to the Ray. What's up, my buddy?
What's up, El Ray?
Hope you had a great Thanksgiving, El Ray.
I saw that
See you
already.
on Tuesday night. Cuppy, thanks, Tina. Appreciate you as always. The show Con Man with Alan 2 that makes relationship to Firefly. It's 2 seasons. Oh, I think I started watching that actually. He's in a bunch of different stuff though.
Yeah, he is, and I don't know if I've heard of that. I'm gonna take a look at that because I've seen a bunch of interviews with him acting.
Jar Jar should have been the Phantom Menace.
He is. That's the whole
Dark.
point. You
Yeah,
finally
he's
realize.
the menace of the Watcher.
I mean, if you think about it, who is the Phantom Menace in the movie? Is it supposed to be Darth Maul? He's not really like a menace or whatever, and he's not really. No, it's Jar Jar Binks throughout the whole movie. He's the one that's fucking shit up, and not in like it's not said in a bad way. Like he's part like it, in gunslinger talk. He's Ka, I like the Darth Jar Jar too. I like that whole theory.
It'd be cool if there was something that creative they would have done. They set up the final trilogy to be good, and they just didn't produce it. Then we got. I saw another trailer of this in watching Gladiator 2, and man, this is going to be so damn good. Just watch a trailer.
Nosferatu, yeah.
Yeah.
Rachel Ferguson. What's her name? Zellweger?
Rachel Zellweger? What's her name?
Ziegler?
Ziegler.
I've never shared my secret with any soul.
You have had these spells since childhood. Tell me what you can from the beginning.
It is like a dream. It was our wedding. When we turned around, everyone was dead. The stench of their bodies was horrible. Standing before me was death. But I'd never been so happy.
This creature is a force more powerful than evil. Its desire is to consume all life on Earth. Only you can redeem us. He is coming.
Nice.
There is a devil in this world, and I have met him.
But he could never please me as he could. I'm ready.
Man, it looks good.
Yeah, it looks really good. I'm on board with everybody else. It looks really good, and they were roasted marshmallows, big fluffy marshmallows. I've heard Wicked was really good. Just do not sing in the theaters because they're not only kicking people out, but they're finding people now. So don't be singing in the theater. Yep, supposedly people getting tickets if they sing in the theaters. So just be careful. I mean, it's kind of understandable. Like I don't get, because it's really like because it's become this big trend on TikTok to like go see the theater, and not only that, but they're filming while they're doing this inside the theater, which I thought was already illegal.
Yeah,
but
that shouldn't be happening.
But then they're like singing at the top of their lungs, which I get it. It's a musical, but like it's not the first time a musical's been in the theater, people,
What's up, Casino Mike?
Hey, Casino.
Right, I think it's consensus, everybody. Yeah, that's the only thing that kind of bothered me releasing on Christmas Day. I was like, really? That's kind of.
I didn't see no Christmas trees in the trailer,
Yeah. Have no problem with that. LOL.
Just singing.
It's not the Rocky Horror Picture, so.
Yeah, exactly. And those aren't even done like in real theaters. Those are usually done in like artsy theaters kind of thing. Because I go to that almost. I wouldn't say every year, but I've been like every other year. I go to the Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's one of my favorite things. But like
really?
that's I love. But that's one of those artsy. I mean, it's all like every time even here in Colorado, it's done. It's not done in big theaters. It's done in like these like like more artistic theaters that play like independent films. That
Right. Went to Momoa 2 movie theater. You got to order food. You got Shirley Temple and chicken strips and fries. Wow.
that's the movie I want to see. Like I know Gladiator 2 and Wicked's big out there, but Moana 2 is big for me. That's one of my favorite Disney
It's
movies
going
of
to be
all
huge.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard good things, and I'm excited.
Nicholas Holt. Yeah. Oh, Lex
I
Luthor.
I do like Nicholas Hoult. Yeah, a lot of actors, William Dafoe, like they were talking about Skarsgård, even though we don't really get to see Skarsgård yet. But I mean, the fact that he's in it, and I mean, any of the Skarsgårds, I just enjoy all of them.
All right. Things that I read this week. We got Hyde Street, issue number 2.
Do you like it?
Basically, just the origin story of Pranky, Pip, and how he became trapped on Hyde Street. Basically made fun of as a kid, treated like shit. So he killed people. And it follows this police officer that gets trapped on Hyde Street with Pranky. And man, it's just, I love the art in this. He goes crazy and his face all gets demonic. And then, awesome touch as always in the back. You got a little write-up of the character that the issue is about. So
I do like the stat pages. I do like that.
I'm loving Hyde Street quite a bit. Next
Hyde
we
Street's
have
awesome, more horror focused than issue 1.
issue number 5, right? It's the final issue. 4. It's only a 4-parter, but final issue of Frankenstein. I love this series. Just a great rendition, different points of view that you normally don't see from the characters in the typical story. It is the typical story, but it's just a little bit different of an interpretation.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. The first 2 issues. I need to read the last 2, but
Let's say High Street is pretty awesome. Or yes, for sure.
Ari's over here. I speak Piglet. Same thing with Barry.
Next we have Falling in Love on the Path to Hell. This is 6. Yeah, issue number 6. They finally get together. Half the book is bow chicka bow wow. Sex, got kind of like half a silent issue in this, but they're about to get sacrificed from the last issue guy. One of the guys that's working there in the area that they're at, purgatory, I guess you could call it, is his duty is to sacrifice every so often to this pit, and they're about to, and the main character
goes down.
Let him in on a little secret, so he kind of turns and starts to help them. Basically, the guy that they first encountered that is in charge of everybody that gets in here is kind of the bad guy. Yeah, so elaborate on that, but great read. I do have to say, really enjoyed it. And yeah, brown chicken, brown cow.
Yeah, that's good.
My read of the week is Justice League Unlimited, number 1. Yeah,
back after 3 years, finally.
Hell yeah, just a great start. They jump right in to a ordeal that's happening. There's a new group called the Inferno that have technology that's far beyond what they've seen, but the Justice League is far greater than they've ever been. All heroes on planet Earth are allowed on the Watchtower, not just the Justice League. There's like room for Teen Titans, or room for the Justice League, or room for the JSA. So it's really awesome how it's set up as just more of a global initiative and not just the Justice League.
Yeah, the roster is all encompassing, hence the unlimited. So now, as long as you qualify as a hero, or not really qualify, but as long as you like address yourself as a hero, you're allowed to be in the Justice League kind of thing, and they give you memberships now. It's kind of the new thing that they started, and like Trev was saying, the Watchtower is like the Watchtower 10.0, where it's like it's got segments set out for like different teams, and it's pretty cool.
I just love Dan Mora. Mark Waid is unbeaten. Just the art style. He doesn't leave any pages. Like, he does all the backgrounds perfectly. Just love Dan Mora.
Mhm.
Of course, Batman and I forget Blue Beetle he's with. They find almost like these alien freaking eggs. So it's kind of
Inside.
they're like, what's going on here? So it's really cool mystery they're starting out with. Really action packed.
Hmm.
And it also has a little teaser in the back of that to the Hush 2, which is pretty awesome. Shows Hush doing a little research on Batman. He's like, basically, I'm back.
He's got to catch up with his Batman knowledge.
Yeah.
Lots
What
happening.
you read anything or get anything this week?
I got a lot of stuff, but as far as reading, it was Dark Tower, and maybe that was it. Some Dark Tower
What'd you pick
stuff.
up?
I got quite a lot. So they had like Black Friday deal. They had pre-Black Friday deal, but I actually hit up like this bookstore, and they had like a 50% off. So I picked up like the beginning of a whole series, one of my favorite series that a lot of people don't know about. But it is the Red Wall by Brian Jocks. I think that's how you pronounce his name. This is basically like Lords of the Rings, but just anamorphic creatures. It's actually set up in our world. There are humans and stuff, but it is like these like little creatures that they have their own ships with, like, for instance, it's a badger and a mouse, but it's pretty much the first book is about this abbey, and this abbey has been attacked by these massive like rat pirates, and it's kind of like about this prophecy of this one mouse that's going to come from nowhere, and he's going to be like this savior mouse, let's just say, and it kind of becomes true, and it spawns out this whole series. And I was able to get like the first 6 books, which normally, I mean, each one of them would have cost me like 10. I got them all for like, I think it was like $3.
Holy
Like
shit.
this whole set. And so, I mean, people were like, "Oh, it's not." And I've only read the first 2. The first one is like a mainstay story, and then right after that, the second book is like a prequel that kind of tells the story of the abbey and how the prophecy got started, and then after that, it's like an actual like sequel to sequel story. And it goes so far as where they go out on the sea, and they got like, I mean, it's ever expanding, but I mean the actual like, but it is medieval like fantasy. I mean, in these like
Interesting.
anamorphic creatures, they do have like, they have their own blacksmiths, and and then it's funny because the humans are there, and they do use some of the human stuff that's around, and it is explained like why the humans are not around or not messing with it. It's kind of funny how they do it. It's kind of ingenious. All right.
What's up,
So
Frog Brog? How you doing,
hey
bud?
Froggy, that
And
is
Ari, I don't know anybody that uses a real tree anymore. My parents stopped using real trees a long time ago.
they sell a hell of a lot of them, but I for
Right?
one don't. I mean, and most of my exes don't. Most of my family don't. It's all like either plastic or like temporary trees, kind of.
Uh-huh.
All right, so I showed this off on Instagram, but I got this reproduction case, and this was pre-Black Friday. Normally it's like $9.99, and it is an actual like all the way case. The difference is, I mean, it is a reproduction. Normally it would be black, not clear. And like my one complaint, and it holds it fine, but it's like a one size fits all kind of thing.
It's got
made
multiple places
Yeah,
where you
it's
can.
it's
Yeah.
kind of like if you had it's made for like Super Nintendo, or if you had like a TurboGrafx 16 cartridge and it
Uh-huh.
fit up here, or if you had like, it has different places, but it's not like an ailment. It's kind of cool, to see something. I've never actually seen a cartridge, like a case that would hold
Multiple
different.
ones.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Usually it's kind of set, but I mean, it's still, for the price, it's still pretty good. And yeah, Sega Genesis. It's one of my favorite games. Trev loves this game.
Sega!
Okay, Sega. All right, so I've been big in and we're gonna get more. We're going older school, because the rest is like a whole stack. That all this is Black
Damn.
Friday. All right, so one of these is an experiment, so we'll get there. But like a lot of people have loved that second Top Gun movie. We had a second Top Gun in the 80s, and it was called Top Gun Second Mission.
Awesome.
Yeah, I picked that up. It was like a couple bucks. I actually thought I was buying Top Gun, like the original, because I don't have that yet. And it's everywhere. It's cheap. And like I actually got home and I was like, oh, it's the second one. And it's pretty much the same game.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, right? Highway to. All right. So I picked up Bump and Jump, which is it was an arcade like that they ported. It's just a fun like something that you can plug in and it's easy to play. But it's just most people know Spy Hunter, and Spy Hunter is the game where you have a car and it shoots, and you just have to like shoot stuff on the road. This one kind of plays the same, except you don't really shoot. You bounce stuff off the road, but it's kind of the same concept. A lot of people know this one. This one's actually pretty hard to find nowadays, and it's getting pretty pricey. So I got this one dirt cheap, and it's like most of these, like I either have to work on the stickers or I don't. This one's like pristine. It's so nice. Thanks, Hungry D. I've mentioned this. There was I think it was Will that had a Harley Quinn cover that was an homage to this variant. It was Harley Quinn riding on a bed through a sky.
Oh yeah,
that is relation to this game, and as you can see, he's on the bed in the sky. This is it was actually like a bunch of the Capcom games that they did on NES were all like gimmicks that they got away with. Like this was sold as a Disney like first, because most of Capcom's like NES games are Disney, and even though it does look like Disney, it is farthest from it. It's actually made by like Toho Studios and a French company. It's actually from a French comic. They just in appearance it looked like Disney, so they sold it like that. It's kind of funny. All right, so a big one, and this is one that I played a bunch as a kid, and I could never figure it out. I love this game, but it like without a strategy guide or whatever, you had no idea what was going on. So it's one of the games that I've wanted to go back to, and it's not an expensive game. I think it's like $8-7, something like that. You know, but it's one that I've actually wanted to go back and like try. I do that a lot, Barry, and no, you don't blow into them. That's how you root. That's why you need the Q-tip in there, because people blowing in the
No.
Yeah, the blowing in the shit. That's actually the worst way for the car, because you're blowing in spit and like it does blow out.
Spitting it.
Yeah, it does blow out dust and stuff. All right, so I bought Dragon Warrior 1. This is part 2, and this one was supposed to be pricey. It's usually like a $70-$80 game, and I got it for like half. I was pretty pleased with that. I went through and played the hell out of this. And for people that don't know, this is Tori Taki, you know, the guy who did Dragon Ball. Technically, its name is Dragon like Quest nowadays. All right, so I mentioned experiment. This is the experiment. So they're still making Nintendo games today. They haven't, like, it's kind of like vinyl. They didn't stop. Like, and they haven't stopped making games for Super Nintendo, for Genesis, for Saturn. They still have companies out there that make, and they still have like independent people out there that make these homebrew like games and stuff like that. There's actually a couple of YouTubers, like for instance, Jay and Silent Bob actually have a NES game that he released back in like I think 2018 or something like that. Like so that they've been doing these. There's actually a Harry Potter that's on Nintendo that's actually a licensed game. There's quite a bit. Okay, so my experiment is I wanted to buy one of these homebrew games to see if not only work, because I have 3 different NESs. 2 are like a retro like HDMI versions, but I do have original, so I was curious to see if these homebrews work on either the 2 HDMI or the new one. So I bought Pokemon Red.
Wow.
Which is a Game Boy original and has never been released on any console until the Switch. So I bought a home-brewed version of this, which is an exact port of the GBA title. And incidentally, it did work. Like it does play just like, and it saves.
Just like it. Wow, awesome.
Okay, The only fundamental issue that it has, like, is there's no way to trade Pokemon because, like, back in the day, you had to have like a cable and it had to connect to another Game Boy. Okay, so like they've gone so far as they do have like these connector variants. Like if I wanted to and I had another cartridge and had another like somebody playing, like there are ways
They
to.
make the connector.
Yeah, they made this
Oh,
stuff
wow.
too. So, okay, so this one was actually a cheap experiment. I only spent like $10. So even if it didn't work, I was like, screw it. It's something cool to look at, kind of thing.
Right.
But it did work. So I was like, hey, the experiment worked. So like I've actually ordered like that was what I ordered for Black Friday was like 12 of these games. And some of these are some of the most expensive games. I use like when I start showing Nintendo games, people are like, "Do you have DuckTales 2? Do you know how much DuckTales 2 is worth?" Alone, the cartridge is like a $2,000 game. Why would I? Okay, so like,
Damn.
and it's always like, "Do you have Bible War? Do you?" They always ask if I have the most. No, of course I don't have the most expensive. Like, um, no, okay, but they do have like homebrewed version of these games for people that like if you want to play the game. Like for instance, Dragon Warrior 3 and 4 were released way later on in the NES cycle, so they are very pricey games. Like I think Dragon Warrior 3 like minimum goes for like 150 to 250, something like that, and that's just the cartridge, not box and manual, just a car. Okay, and 4, shit, I think the cheapest it was like 4 or 500, something like that. And in some of these games have been like either redone, reissued, like relicensed. Like for instance, Dragon Warrior has been re-released on the Switch as Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3, and they have like remakes of them. And,
Right.
I'd like to play the
Switch is a
original.
badass, man. Switch has got a lot of remakes on it.
I love my Switch, and there's a bunch. It has Fantasy Star. It has Fantasy Star 1, 2, 3, 4 on there, and you can play them like it's. They actually have it in its original store. I own, I think 1, 2, 3. I think so on Switch. Um, yeah, and you ain't lying, Froggy. That Bible game sucked. They had a bunch of them Bible games, and they all sucked. And guess what? They all expensive. I think there's like 2 that you can find in the wild that people go nuts when they find them because they're like, "Oh my god, a religious game! I found one. It's got to be worth a lot of money." And it's usually not. There's like 5. Like Little Samson is one of the most expensive like biblical games out there. Bible Tree is another one. But Little Samson is the game. I think the cartridge alone goes for like $2,000 or $3,000, something like that. Graded, it's like a $10,000-$12,000 thing.
Why would you grade
it? That's a big thing, and there's a bunch of the like hobby game stores that like if they get graded stuff that comes to them, they will buy it at the graded cost, and then they break it open as soon as the
right. A game, man. If I like it so much, I'd want to play it.
So the reason I stated a lot of this is because these homebrew things, they're not licensed, that they are technically like illegal things, you could say, and that's why I'm stating this, so I don't want to get anybody in trouble in case you care to experiment yourself. Like that's like this is a a lot of people will get mad, oh, this is a reproduction kit. I don't care, this is for my personal collection. It keeps the cartridge safe, especially with Genesis. Like the NES are a little easier because you could lay it on the side and all you like Genesis, they're not so easy. They're in these small little, and they the gap that they have over here, it's not so like easy to, I mean, you put like 5 of these in a stack, they start falling over. But this is actually a reproduction sticker that I did myself because the original was just, it looked bad. It's a real cartridge and everything. It's just I fixed and changed the sticker. But I don't plan to sell this, or even if I did, it would be something that I would know, to the seller. Hey, it's a real game, but it's all reproduction outside of the microchip,
Yeah.
So be warned, people. I don't.
Yeah, if you're buying vintage stuff, know what you're getting at, for sure.
I do, and there's quite a bit you have to know. Like for instance, like different screw sets on the back of cartridge. I mean, that's kind of like when people talk about what do we say in comics? Oh, it's a newsstand, right? Well, they have like a 3 screw, they have a 5 screw. on certain releases, they can go for different prices. Zelda is the more common one. I do have like a Legend of Zelda. Mine is a 3 screw, which is the original version, but there is a 5 screw that came later on. Most people know the gold cartridge Zelda. There is just a regular gray cartridge Zelda, and the gray cartridge usually sells for a little bit more. But why would you want the gray cartridge? Like, why would
Right?
you
I
want
love
the
that
gold?
gold cartridge.
Me too. Like
I had that gold cartridge, and I had a red cartridge of something.
maximum.
No, it was an NES.
There's a couple different colors on
There's a
NES
bunch of red ones on Sega.
because there's
that I
like
had.
there's a light blue. The light blue are usually the Bible game, like the religious games. Like I'm trying to think. Red on Genesis and stuff like that, Super Nintendo. That's when we started getting like Maximum Carnage and Separate, and they were all on red cartridges.
Dude, Nintendo Power was awesome.
I love Nintendo. I mean, I've always been a Nintendo fan. Yes, it's over the years, it's gotten a little more like specifically oriented to either families or kids with families. But I mean, they're still a great game company. Doesn't matter what game you pick up, it's gonna be a good game. And to me, that says a lot about a company that's been going as long as they have, kind of thing.
Right. Bobby! What's up, Bobby De La Ghetto?
What's up, Bobby?
KC, bro. Thanks for popping in. Is that all you got?
That's all I got for now that I can think of. Actually, there's a slew of other stuff, but I couldn't remember what I haven't showed and what I have showed. And I've owned the Power Glove Cat Fan.
Oh, the Power Glove was awesome.
I have pictures of me in the Power Glove.
And I couldn't remember some stuff that happened in this book, so I already started reading this trilogy. I read this book already, Time of the Twins, because I was getting 3 different trilogies. There's 3 different trilogies with Raceland, and I was getting a couple of them mixed up because I haven't read this. I found a receipt in here from 2009 that I was using as a bookmark. So it's been 15 years since I've read that book, and I've read so much shit. Like when you read multiple trilogies about the same character,
they do get mashed
kind of
together. That's why when I do these book clubs, that's why I highly recommend the rereads, because stuff does get mashed together. In Ari's World, we did the same thing. I used to love they're like, honestly, I would like the mat again, because there's a couple games to play okay on, like the there's like a track and field that's kind of fun, but like no one can run as fast as the game wants you to using that pad. I mean, if we were little kids with like unlimited energy, and I am a very thin like stamina, but no, it just wasn't possible. So we would use our hands.
Oh yeah, for sure. So the new Marvel Annual Blaster Box, the Target, sweet.
I did see those. They were selling quick. Your Walmart closet.
Yeah, Walmart closet. That boy's got tons of product. You got anything to shout out coming up you want to talk about?
No, we got the Dragonland, the final hope. Yeah, it's gonna be the final part. I was about to say, is it gonna be the final part? But yeah, it's gonna be the final part. We're right there at the end, and I'm so ready for it because I have not moved on to the next book because I still want this to be fresh when we talk about it, kind of thing.
I think this first book is going to be the only 3-parter. Hopefully, if I remember correctly, because it's a lot of introduction.
So it is like setup and stuff like that. Yeah. But I mean, Beckerman and Tony brought up good points. We had more people, and and the more people, the more talk you have, the longer it's gonna go. And I think everybody in the group is on the same wavelength. We don't care if it goes that long. We just all enjoy talking about the source, kind of thing. Is that one good boy or whatever his name is? Is he Good Day?
Is he down? Yeah, Good Day. Is he down for coming back?
As far as I know, he said he is, but I don't know. If I would like Patrick and Jesse to especially Patrick, because he was a new reader, so. But I mean, I'm satisfied with our group as well, with Tony, you, Beckerman. Like I'm having a good old time, like on both, and like the Dark Tower thing with just me and Steve. I want Phil back, and I would like you, and but of course things happen, but that's like Aaron pops up and Nauman's out there, but I mean, just me and Steve have talked about it backstage. We're having just as much fun with the group, or I mean, still enjoying getting to talk about it with somebody, you know. So it's working for me. Yeah,
It's pretty
but
cool to hear about Shimi and a little bit more of his story last night.
that okay, both those parts I wanted you to read specifically because they are Dark Tower centric. That little Sisters of Gloria and it's really a short story. Like it's a 2-hour like audiobook. It's very short, but like it's such a fantastic tale that sets up the moments right before the first Gunslinger. But no, that was fun to. Yeah, but this weekend we're doing part 3 of Dragonlance. You know, Dragon Autumn Twilight. You know, we're finally gonna finish this book, so we can move on to the next one.
Hell yeah, having a blast, man. Thanks so much for doing that. Really appreciate it. Getting me back into reading some books. I'm liking that.
Yeah, I'm loving it, man. It's something that I'm already a fantasy and medieval fan, so it's like it's one of those things where it can be daunting, like getting into a new franchise, that kind of thing. If you don't know, you know, it can be overbearing, especially like you know, Joseph Michael just mentioned some Tolkien. I'm a huge Tolkien fan, but it can be overbearing to, you know, to like open up a book and look at all the different names.
Right.
No, but this one has been fantastic. I'm enjoying it. I'm excited to get into the other, you know, franchise. I'm enjoying
Yeah, me too.
Dragonlance, but I do want to experience like Forgotten Realms and Ravenloft and Greyhawk.
Yep, for sure. So thanks everybody so very much. Not going to be here next Sunday because the Chiefs play this Sunday night. Only other time they play Sunday night. So it's probably going to be off next week. We'll be back on the 15th. Then on the 22nd, we might be off again. So we'll just see, guys. It might be every other week for the next month or so, depending. But thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Hope you have a great week. Check my live streams Wednesday, 4 o'clock. Everybody's welcome on Backing Boarding and BS. And back here in 2 weeks. Love y'all. As always, Matt Woods.
Matt Woods.